everyone. My name is Chloe, and because I'm just becoming the queen of outdated content, I'm going to go ahead and give you my middle grade March wrap up. So, if you guys know, I'm not a huge middle grade reader, but I do have a 4-year-old daughter who is really into chapter books right now. So, we have started in the past probably 6 months or so, we have started reading books together. And I have just really found myself kind of drawn to middle grade, kind of in preparation for when she is ready for more advanced stuff. So I have 5 books or book series to tell you about that I read in March, and so let's just get into it. And if you haven't heard of middle grade March, I don't know how, but it's hosted by Krista from Books and Jams, Amanda from The Curly Reader, and Katie from Life Between Words. And it is the whole goal, there are prompts, but I did not do the prompts. The whole goal is really just to read more middle grade. So that is what I did. I just really focused on, I read 4 of these I did read with my daughter, and 1 of them I read independently, but I really just wanted to kind of keep that middle grade in mind and at least have one going at every week. And so that's what I did. So let's just get into it. So I'll start with the 4 that I read with my daughter, and then I'll tell you about the one I read independently. So the first one I read was The Sticky Cake Race by Harriet Whitehorn, I think. And this is a part of the Freddy's Amazing Bakery series. And you guys, it is 4 books, and we love them. So the first one was The Great British Bake Off, because I think he's British. And it was so good, but it was kid style, and it was so good. This one is the 4th one, and it was about they're having a bike race, and it was just so cute. And there's a lot to say about sportsmanship and being kind and not cheating and helping others. And it was just a really great book. And it was all set again in this town that you've really come to get to know with these characters you love. And it was a great book. I would highly recommend you check out the series. I would say the 1st and the 4th were our favorites, and you can read them out of order for sure. They're not sequential. So, and those are from Kane Miller. The publisher is Kane Miller. So those you can buy through Usborne. So I will leave the link down below if you're interested in that. Another Usborne series that we read was Ella Diaries. So Ella Diaries are about a girl named Ella, and it's her diaries. So there's Olivia's Secret Scribbles, which is her little sister, and then Ella Diaries, which are a little bit older. I do wish I would have read Olivia's Secret Scribbles to my daughter, because I think that would be more age-appropriate content. But they are written to be read by the certain age group. So Olivia's Secret Scribbles is definitely a one that 6-year-olds could read pretty easily. They're both in diary format, so they're really quick to turn the pages. But it's a little harder for us to read together when it's it would take us not very long to read it with me reading it. So we read Ella's Diaries, and the first one is called Double Dare You. And we really liked it. We haven't continued on in the series because, like I said, I felt like content was a little bit too old for my 4-year-old, because Ella's in, I can't remember what grade, but later elementary school, and just some of the stuff was just above Ainsley's head. So we haven't continued. But if you've got a middle grade reader that's kind of anywhere 2nd to 4th grade, I would say definitely pick those up. Then we read Ball Hogs by Rich Wallace, and that's a part of the Kickers series. So it is a series all about soccer. My daughter loves soccer. That's where she is right now. She is just obsessed with it, and we get the Highlights magazine. I think it was in the Highlights magazine, and Rich Wallace had wrote. If you guys can't tell, allergies are getting the best of me, and my brain is just like a fog. But he had written a story in there about swimming, and she was we read that story so many times. It was a 4 or 5 page short story. And so we got this Kickers series, and this was about a new team of soccer players, and one of them is a big ball hog. And so learning about what it means to be a team and how to cooperate together. Again, I would say all of these are kind of good for that middle elementary school age. But this one I thought was good. We have not continued in the series because neither of us loved it, and the kids were kind of snotty, but it was still good if you've got a soccer lover in your family. Then we read The Culdesac Kids by Beverly Lewis. That is, I don't know how many books there are. I think like 12. And we have them in like 4-book bind-ups. I'm putting in pictures of all of these because, like I've said before in other middle grade videos, my daughter likes to like reread them to herself. So they're all over the house. It would take me longer to find them than just to put in pictures. So we read the first 2, which is the Double Double Surprise and Chickenpox Panic. And so this is about a group of kids that all live on a cul-de-sac, and they're just really good friends. They kind of have like a camaraderie of like, you mess with one kid, you mess with all of us. And we live on a cul-de-sac, and my kids are the youngest on the cul-de-sac, and the other kids are so great to them. And so like they just really love that, and love like that they've got friends. And I think my daughter can really put herself in the shoes of them. And the family we follow, for the most part, they have 2 girls, and they adopt 2 Korean children. They're supposed to get 2 Korean girls, but they get boys. And so that's what happens in the first one, the Double Dabble Surprise. It's a surprise that they get boys, and like, what do they do with that? And then the Chickenpox Panic is somebody gets chickenpox, and it kind of spreads through the Culdesac Kids. And there's just so much good stuff about friendships. It's really sweet. It's really endearing. This is Christian focused. It's not heavy on it, but they do mention faith. And so if that is not something you're into, then maybe pick a different series. But if that is something you're looking for, like for us, it was perfect, just because they talk about God in a way that we talk about him in our family, and just he's a part of everything. And so yeah, I really enjoyed that series. We've got a bind up of the first 4, and then I think a bind up of the second, like 5 through 8, maybe. And I really like them, but the most of the time that Ainsley and I read together is at night. And because they're bind ups, like it's kind of hard to like maneuver, but whatever. And then the last one is the one that I read by myself, and that is Starfish by Lisa Phipps. So I saw this on Krista's channel, and I knew I had to read it. So it is about a young girl, who is just relentlessly bullied for her size. She's bullied by her family, her siblings, her parents, everyone at school. Nobody really stands up for her. And she loves swimming. She loves swimming, and she loves it because she loves the way it makes her body feel, and that she can spread out and be a starfish and not worry about like how much space she's taking up, and not worry about her size and her weight. And her dad is kind of her like champion, but it takes him a really long time to like open his eyes to what's going on. He's very much in denial of what's going on. And he was like a psychologist or a therapist of some sort, I think. And so like for him to be so clueless about how just relentlessly and mercilessly his daughter was being bullied and harassed, specifically by the mother, was like sickening to me. And just, I would say this is slightly hyperbolic. Like a lot happens to her in this story, but the author wrote a note at the end that like everything that happened to this girl had happened to her. And that just breaks my heart. Like she was being told who she was based on her size at such a young age. And she was so much more. I mean, we are all so much more than our size. And I could get on a huge soapbox about this, because I just wish nobody would comment on anybody's body at all, especially growing children. Like it just disgusts me. And while this all is happening at once to her, and potentially a little hyperbolic in the sense that it's all happening so quickly to her, I don't think it's hyperbolic in that somebody would have experienced all these things. And I think it just is really eye-opening to the power of words, and just the culture that we live in, and as parents, our role in advocating for our kids, and just giving them enough positivity to kind of outweigh stuff. So loved it, cried through it, thought it was so good. So that is what I read for middle grade March. Let me know if you participated. Next year, I do kind of want to try to go a little more like full-fledged into it. I have a whole bookcase upstairs that is two actually, that are all middle grade. They're more middle grade from like when I was a kid, so some of them might be outdated. But I would kind of like to go a little more full-fledged into it next year. So maybe I'll do that. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next one.